Alright guys, what's going on? This is David Reinecke with David Reinecke Fitness. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a grocery haul unbagging. Just got back from the grocery store. Short week this week, not very much to get, but you guys are going to get to see what I got at the grocery store. First things first though, Scivation, best brand that I've ever used. Do want to highlight just a couple different products that they do have. One is brand new. Everybody knows the original Extend branched chain amino acids, perfect for muscle recovery, getting in your branched chain amino acids. New product that they just came out with, you guys have probably seen it all over social media, is the Extend Perform. It's the same blend as the old school Extend, but it does have one new ingredient, the Pico 2, which is designed for muscular performance, aerobic capacity, and power output. It's also going to decrease your rest periods, so you guys can lift longer and have longer workouts, and you guys can push harder in a much shorter amount of time. Also, a newer product is Flexatro, which is their joint health support supplement. So, got to keep your joints healthy, and you guys will see one of the things I got at the grocery store today is going to help that as well in a food form. So, those couple supplements there, you guys can check those out. Also, their whey protein, and then anything else that is Primaforce, which is their bulk ingredients like their beta-alanine and citrulline malate. So let's get to the unbagging. It's not a lot of stuff. Some stuff is repeated, but if you guys do have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I can answer those when I do have some free time this weekend since I'm off of work. So first thing that we got here is just some pickles. So I do like snacking on these throughout the day. Usually only having a couple, maybe 2 or 3 of them. But these are the no sugar added sweet gherkins. I got those at Kroger. Got a couple jars of those. I tend to go through them fairly quickly. Since this week is it's a lower carbohydrate week for me because I am taking the week off from lifting. Haven't had a true break in about 7 months since my last show, which was in October of 2015. So my coach and I, RJ, we've just kind of formulated, we're just going to take the week off. My strength has gone down in a couple lifts. Just give my body a little bit of a break, switch the program up, and then hit it really hard for the rest of the year. So we'll see how this week goes, but it's a lower carbohydrate week. And by low for me, I mean somewhere in the realm of between 240 and 250 grams of carbs. So a lot of these foods are lower carbohydrate, and then I can show you guys some of the other stuff that I do have that's going to fill up some of the other carbohydrates that I have. So just this right here is just some sugar-free Jell-O, 5 calories per cup. Usually have 2 of these, sometimes even the whole container, so 4 of them. Get about 4 grams of carbs. 4 grams of carbs per box. So very, very filling. It's basically just gelatin and some water and a little bit of flavoring. The next box that we have here is some lettuce, so some bags of shredded lettuce. And what I'll do is I got some cans of tuna as well. I got solid white albacore tuna. So what I would do is I would drain this and rinse it. I would mix this in with my lettuce. I'd put half an avocado in there that you guys will see. Kind of make like a tuna salad. I put a whole egg in there as well to just increase the protein content and add a little bit more fat. But spread that on a couple rice cakes, and that'll be a lunch for a couple days this week. So I got 3 of them because I'll probably eat one this weekend as a salad, or have some taco salad or something like that. Next thing that we got here is just some celery. I usually have this at night. Usually with some sort of protein, chicken or a protein shake, and I'll spread some peanut butter on this. And I do really like that before I go to bed. It allows me to still eat some peanut butter, and instead of having it on a piece of bread or a rice cake, I'll have it on some celery to keep my carbohydrates lower, because when I usually do train, it's real early in the morning, 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't necessarily need a lot of carbohydrates before I go to bed, because I tend to eat a higher carbohydrate meal prior to training, and I don't need to quote unquote carb backload, as a lot of people tend to do, and save their carbohydrates for the end of the day. So I like to keep my carbohydrates lower as the day goes on. Next thing we have here, just a couple avocados. So like I said, mix that with the tuna and the lettuce. Have a couple more cans of tuna here. Got 3 cans just to save because they were on sale. Got some tomatoes. So I'm going to eat a tomato a day probably this week. Great source of lycopene, which does have some health benefits, powerful antioxidant in tomatoes, but great for cardiovascular function. They're great for, just your overall, fighting off free radicals and preventing disease. But I do love the taste of them, and I do add those to a lot of my salads. Pretty low in carbohydrates as well. I mean, any vegetable really is, aside from potatoes. But I do like to add these just to add a little bit more color into my nutrition as well. I did get some Walden Farms pancake syrup. I add that to my protein pancakes or even into my oatmeal. That's really all I use that for. It just gives it a little bit more flavor. Don't go too overboard with it because even if it is 0 calorie, the companies have to put that if it's under a certain amount. If you do go overboard, it'll accumulate to a couple calories there. So just be careful with how much of that you use. It is expensive too, so it can add up fairly quickly. Got some peanut butter, just natural crunchy peanut butter from Kroger. Didn't necessarily need it, but it was on sale for 99 cents. Don't really know why since it sell by is January 2017. But pick this up because you can never have too much peanut butter. I do have some other brands that I use. Earth Balance. I have that and a coconut blend, and then I have a big 40-ounce jar from myprotein.com that I haven't opened yet. So that's some of my fat sources that I'll use. While dieting, and even as I get into show preps, I haven't used these in the past, but I am going to for my next show prep, and I use these a lot frequently. But these are shirataki noodles. You can find them in probably your organic section of your grocery store, but it's basically just a tofu blend, and it has some yam flour in there, but they're virtually flavorless. Just make sure that you rinse them because they are in this liquid. It's not quite water, but it's a preservative liquid. Just rinse them, and you can add them to any kind of stir fry, any kind of pasta meal to give you that sensation of eating pasta. I like using them as like an Asian noodle. Actually having that for dinner tonight. So adding some coconut aminos, which is a soy sauce substitute, some chicken, maybe some peanuts in there with vegetables, and some sriracha on top, and you have almost like an Asian style stir fry. So gonna have that a couple nights this week for dinners. Since I am at work for lunch and dinner, it's real easy for me to prepare, and it doesn't require a lot of work. Next bag we have. So you saw the gelatin earlier that's already made, but this is packets of gelatin. So just unflavored packets of gelatin. If you've ever followed me on social media, if not, I'm going to put the links below to all my social media accounts. But gelatin is actually great for joint support. So gelatin is basically just ground up cartilage from animals, sometimes horses or cows. But in my philosophies, just like with building muscle, if you want to build muscle, you should eat muscle. So that's steak, chicken, those sorts of sources. If you want to have healthy joints, the best possible thing that you can ingest is actual cartilage. So the collagen in there does have a great health benefit. But what I would do is I would actually add some branched chain amino acids to it just to increase the recovery aspects of it, because the gelatin per packet has about 7 grams of protein. So because it's flavorless, you can add flavor by using your branched chain amino acids. And then you can also add whatever kind of flavoring you want, like a Crystal Light packet or a water flavoring packet. So that's a tip for you guys that you can have before you go to bed. That's virtually 0 carbohydrate, and it's pretty filling. So just put it in your pot, and you're good to go. Just let it set in there while you're out during the day, and by the time you come home, you have some gelatin ready. Got some cucumbers. Add these to salads or just eat them on the side of a meal. Just a lot of water in those. One thing I'm going to have tomorrow night for dinner, and then a couple nights this week for dinner at work, is spaghetti squash. So spaghetti squash, just a vegetable, just a squash, but it resembles the form and shape of spaghetti. A little bit firmer, but you can add your marinara sauce and mozzarella to this. Add your meat. And you have a pretty fulfilling and nutritious meal that's not carb laden. So like I said, I train in the morning, don't need a lot of carbs at night, so I'm going to use some spaghetti squash in there. Just bake it in the oven for about 30 minutes, 375, and then you can let it cool and then flake it, and it'll resemble spaghetti by the time you're done. Okay, so this will last for maybe 2 or 3 meals. Just as some other peanuts. So these are peanuts in the shell. Sometimes I do like them in the shell instead of buying them. They are by far cheaper. This whole bag was $2, and if you bought them already shelled, you're probably gonna buy them for $4. So they upscale the price for doing extra work, basically. Like I said, on your spaghetti squash, you can add some mozzarella. So that's what I got some mozzarella here. Use this pretty frequently. It has a mild flavor, but I do like to add it as opposed to using like a shredded cheese. And then just a couple other things here that I had to restock up on. So I got some baby spinach. I like to add this to my eggs in the morning, my egg whites, my whole eggs. But just add some volume. It gives me some more micronutrients. I do eat a lot of micronutrients, peppers and mushrooms, but I did have to restock up on some spinach. And then one last thing here that we're gonna have for lunches this week is just some ground beef, 93.7 lean ground beef. I'm gonna use this and make a flatbread, basically a cheeseburger flatbread, along with some broccoli on the side for my lunches this week. So the flatbreads that I used are lavash flatbreads that I got from Trader Joe's. So these are whole wheat lavash flatbreads. But what I'll do is I'll cook the beef, and then I'll lay it on one side here. Put some Swiss cheese on top with peppers and mushrooms, probably some tomato, and then I'll fold it over, cut it in half, and I'll put it in my container to take to work. So that's going to be my lunches there, and just some other things that I eat. I do eat some Ezekiel bread. Didn't need any. I have some in the freezer already, but that's another carb source that I eat. I have some chicken breast in the fridge that I bought last week. Some other carb sources that I eat before I work out is just some crispy rice cereal. I have Ezekiel cereal, and then this is one that I am using more recently. Just kind of switch it up from eating oatmeal all the time. But this is it's called Mighty Hot Tasty Cereal, Mighty Tasty Hot Cereal. But it's basically a blend of whole grain brown rice, corn, sorghum, and buckwheat. So think of it as a polenta or a grit, but it's some slow digesting carbohydrates. There's 4 grams of fiber per serving. So if I use like a serving and a half, what I'll do is I might add some egg whites to it and then spread it on top of some rice cakes. The rice cakes that I use, find these at Whole Foods. I like them because instead of eating one rice cake for 9 grams of carbs, you can eat 3 of these for 8 or 9 grams of carbs. But these are Susie's Thin Cakes. So they have the corn, quinoa, and sesame ones, and then there's multigrain. So I usually flip-flop back and forth, but I'll end up eating, anywhere from 8 to 10 of these per serving or per meal. And like I said, 3 of them gives me about 8 or 9 grams of carbs. So you can eat a lot of these, and they're really filling. So more bites equals more filling for me. So being as that I am up for 18 or 19 hours per day, usually wake up around 3:30, 3:15. I'm in bed by 9:30 or 10 o'clock. I don't like to eat all day. I usually keep my structured meals to 5 or 6. Some people need to eat 8 to 10 meals a day. I just can't do that. I don't want to take the time out of the day to eat that much. So some of my meals are bigger, and then usually as the day goes on, I tend to taper my meals just because I'm not as active. I work out in the morning, and then while I'm at work training clients, doing paperwork, doing things on the computer, coming home and answering emails, things like that, I'm not very much active, so I'm not moving a whole lot. Don't really need a lot of calories or a lot of carbohydrates or things like that as the day goes on. Usually my protein and fats stay consistent throughout the day, and that's just how I've been doing it for a while. So that was a short grocery haul. Didn't really need a whole lot. Didn't need rice. I didn't need bread. Didn't need any other proteins aside from the ground beef. But that's basically it. So if you guys do have any questions, that's a low carbohydrate grocery shopping trip for me. Like I said, no plans on competing this year. We're just trying to improve on the physique that we brought last year to the shows, taking the judges' feedback and taking that into the gym and just getting the results that we've been getting. So we built my metabolism up so much that last year and last prep that I am able to eat that many carbohydrates on in my off season and on my low days even, where some people would gain a lot of weight very quickly. As you see, I haven't gained a whole bunch of body fat. I'm only up about 13 or 14 pounds since my last show. So in 7 months, only up 14 pounds. That equals about a half a pound a week, which is exactly what you want to see in an off season. So RJ's got me right on track, and we're just progressing smoothly. I'm going to take this week and just rest and recover, still do my mobility work, get out, maybe go for a walk in the morning, just around the apartments or something, just to stay slightly active, so I'm not lethargic throughout the day. Just a way to get outside and just kind of let my muscles recuperate over the week. So no heavy lifting. We're going to revamp the program, and we're going to start up the following Monday. So stay tuned for that. You guys will still see me on social media. If you guys like this video or videos like this, or want me to do more blogging or vlogging and talk about a topic, or just educate you guys even more through YouTube, just let me know. Answer or put the comments in the description box below. Subscribe to all my social media pages: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Don't really use too much, but you can subscribe anyway. Remember, get some Scivation products. Scivation Extend, Flexitro, Whey Protein. You can find those on their Scivation website, and then some other supplement websites out there that you guys can utilize on your own. But till then, guys, let me know what questions you guys have, if any. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching.